This is the best vehicle in Lego Fortnite. It drives, it flies, and it even has a farming mode. It's extremely fast and equipped with the crafting bench and essence table. We never have to leave. We're gonna go ahead and build one of these today, so go ahead and subscribe so you never miss the best vehicles in Lego Fortnite. And just like my other aircraft, we're gonna be needing to get these quests done. So go get those battle bus quests done. They're super easy, and you're gonna get yourself the Thank the Driver bundle. And with that, we're gonna be able to craft the ultimate survival vehicle. And to do that, these are some of the pieces that we're gonna be using. So go ahead and use this as a reference. It's mostly rod and planks. Go get what resources you need, and let's get right into this video. We're gonna take the bus driver's workbench to the top of the jack, just about like halfway over, and you're gonna place one. And if you want, you can keep it the same way like this. I'm actually gonna flip it around and place a second one just like this. Take the mechanic's work table, and we're gonna put one in each corners. To do this, you're gonna wanna point your cursor somewhere along the bottom of that workbench. And you're gonna wanna make sure that your work table is facing the long way, the same way that the body is over here. And you're gonna move this over, pointing it at the bottom of the workbench until it goes green. So you're gonna have to maybe turn it around and find it like that. Should be just like one stud on the corner. And then you're gonna go ahead and try to do this on the other side as well. Pointing it up and then moving it in one stud so it turns green. We wanna also do that to the other side of the vehicle as well. So moving it over like this and doing the same thing to the other side. Make sure you're pointing your cursor at the side of that workbench. Somewhere around the second notch seems to be a good spot. And then you're gonna move it over until it is one stud on each side like this. On the top, you're gonna wanna take that workbench. You're gonna wanna make sure that it's flush with the end and then go in one stud. Do the same thing on the other side. And on top of that one, you're actually gonna throw another workbench, and you're only gonna have it hanging on by one stud on each side. This is actually where your chests are gonna go. So go ahead and take your grand chest, and on the top, you're gonna place it flush, facing outwards, like this. And on the inside, you're gonna face it inward on both sides. So it looks like this. Get out those workbenches once more and place two more on the sides here to kind of build up the body of the car. Just hang them on by a stud like this. And up here, you actually want to place your crafting bench. So go ahead and throw that down. On the front of those workbenches, we're going to throw the toolboxes like this. And that's going to give us enough room to put the essence table down. So we're going to do that. And in between those toolboxes, we're actually going to slip a couple more like this. And that is where our driver's seat is going to sit. And on top of these, we're going to throw our chests, getting as close to the inside as we can without placing them over the edge. Go ahead and take a 6x2 frost pine floor, and it's not going to line up flush with the table end. Again, it's going to line up flush with the actual end of the piece. So you're going to go in two studs. So you're going to go in one stud so that it's on the inside of that table like this, and do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to line it up with the table and move it in. This is just going to connect some pieces a little bit better in that way that these aren't just left alone, being only connected by one stud. Kind of scares me a little bit. You also want to do sort of the same thing on the back side, but this is actually where we're going to start putting our tires. So we're going to throw a frost pine floor, and it's going to be hanging over the edge, so flush with the actual piece instead of the end of the table. And we're going to place two down like that. Do the same thing on the other side. And I'm actually going to take a 4x4 frost pine floor, and we're going to slip it in between those two and connect them like this. Go ahead and take the 6x2s and throw them on the front of your vehicle as well. That way you can get some tires in there. We'll actually just go ahead and throw those tires on now. So obviously we're going to line them up with our floor pieces, but we're going to bring it down a stud so that there's a little bit more room between the ground and the body of the vehicle. Go over here, and we'll go down one again. Do the same thing in the front. Adjust your tires so that you're not spinning in circles.
This part is optional. If you want it to be able to fly, there's a couple of things that we're going to do here. So we're going to throw some frost pine pieces onto those pieces that we had already placed here. Right there, we're actually going to be throwing thrusters. So go up as close as you can to the steering wheel and throw down 2, maybe even that 3rd thruster on that side. You're going to do the same thing on the other side too. So 3. And go ahead and change all of these thrusters to channel 4. Make sure you take it off of channel 3, otherwise you're gonna find yourself in quite a mess. On the front end, throw down a thruster as low as you possibly can and go into the hidden balloons. Grab the large activated balloon and go right here. It looks like it's like right below the toolbox. There is where it's going to let you place, right in between the tables. This balloon is already going to be on channel 4, so that's good. But if you want to fly, make sure you go ahead and deactivate this balloon that's on the front. This is your harvesting balloon. So when you activate channel 4, the balloon will activate. And by now, a lot of us know that a balloon activation is going to destroy anything in this game. So we're going to try to use that to our advantage and turn this into the ultimate survival vehicle. But we're also going to be adding activated balloons on the sides here, and that way we can go ahead and fly. We just have to remember that we shut off all of our thrusters before we take off, and that way we don't encounter any problem. And I said this in my last video when I was making my survival vehicle, but they really need to add a 5th channel. I know we just got a 4th one, but number 5 is extremely necessary to add full functionality to our vehicles. But for now, I'm willing to work around. We've got 6 chests on this thing. We've got the essence table and the crafting bench. So we're gonna be able to craft tools as we go along, and we're gonna be able to farm stuff with the vehicle itself without having to use any of our pickaxes, any of our axes. We're gonna be able to load up on whatever we need to create new stuff. So if we hop in the seat and we activate these balloons, that's where they're going to pull up. We're gonna see if that's a good enough lift. But before that, I'd like to get some lights on this bad boy, as well as the thrusters to turn and direct our vehicle. So we're actually going to be going into the regular vehicle lights, grabbing the flat light bar, and we're going to be nudging it up to the front until we're able to place it like so, and doing the same thing on the other side. Take your small thruster, and on all of those work tables, we're going to be placing a thruster. So you're going to go up until it goes green. There is one spot, and you're just going to go as far in as you can on both the inside of the left side and the right side, and then on the back side as well. But go ahead and place these anywhere on each side. And we're just going to go like this, and these are going to only activate while we're turning, and we're going to go through which channels go to which thruster. So place these final thrusters underneath like this. Now we're gonna start on the back side, and for me to turn right, I usually use channel 2, and to turn left, I usually use channel 1. And on the back side, this one is going to be pushing on the left side of the vehicle, which is gonna turn me to the right. So we're gonna change that to channel 2, which means this one has to be channel 1. On those inside thrusters facing the back. So I'm at the front of the vehicle for reference, and I'm walking backwards looking at the thrusters underneath. The thruster on the left side is going to be pushing on the right side of the vehicle, which is going to turn me to the right. So this needs to be channel 2, which makes this thruster channel 1. And on the front, this thruster, just like the back side, is going to be pushing on the left side of the vehicle. It's going to turn me right. So we're going to change this to channel 2, and this one is going to be channel 1. These top thrusters are all channel 4, as well as your harvesting balloon. And all of the thrusters we're going to place from now on will automatically be channel 3, so don't even sweat that. We're going to go and throw large thrusters on to end this. But first, we actually need to go in and grab the bus driver's toolbox, and on the back side, you're going to go to the middle of the vehicle, and as close as it's going to let you place, you're going to throw down a toolbox and go into the large thruster, where it will now let you place one in the middle there. So we're going to throw one, and then we're going to throw one here, here, and here, all on those workbenches. There should be 5 large thrusters that are gonna take us forward. Now this is gonna add a lot of speed to the vehicle. To top this vehicle off, we're gonna be adding some lights. Make sure they're all even. I just realized that this headline is wrong. And now we should be ready to go. Want to make sure that these thrusters are off right away, and we'll turn them on when they're needed. And we're actually going to test the lift out on this so that we can operate this in the sky right away. So I'm going to go ahead and lift. Doesn't look like it's bringing it into the air at all. It's pretty heavy, obviously. So maybe we need to add a few floor pieces or a few more areas in which balloons can come up. But to see what the tilt is, I can just go over the edge here and we should be able to see where it sits. And that's not bad. So if I'm using the thrusters, this is kind of how it throws me around. And we kind of skim over the ground a little bit. We don't get too much height. What I'm going to do is actually add a few more balloons. So I'm going to take a 6x2 on each side, and I'm going to go right up where the gray square is and add another floor on each side. And with that, I'm actually going to go into the toys and I'm going to grab some more activated balloons. And so we lift up and it lifts us pretty decently with those 4 extra activated balloons. We can now go ahead and turn the vehicle as well as activate our thrusters, and that's going to push us forward. We're going to go ahead and turn off these balloons, and we're going to turn on the thrusters and turn this vehicle into farm mode. So we added these thrusters to the front in order to counteract the balloon that's going to come out and destroy the trees, the resources, or whatever it is we're trying to harvest. I'm sure by now you've seen tons of bulldozer videos, but in order to get this to farm mode, we need to go back into all 6 thrusters and change it into channel 4. And on the front, we need to go to that balloon and we need to change that to channel 4 as well. And now we're ready to go in farm mode. So we're going to sit in our seat, and now when we activate channel 4, the balloons no longer activate. It's actually the farming mechanism, so we can go and drive around and destroy as many trees as we want, get all the resources that we need, or do whatever it is we're doing on our survival maps. This is one of my favorite ground vehicles to date, and I usually don't make survival vehicles, but I'm starting to get into it, so let me know down in the comments what you want me to build next. I appreciate you guys watching today's video. Take it easy, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.